Walk onto any Kingston dealership lot right now looking for a standard 5-year-old sedan, and you are going to encounter severe sticker shock. That high retail price is driven by 3 compounding factors sitting directly on top of the car's actual value: massive government import duties, aggressive local markups, and heavy dealer profit margins. Over in local financial circles, buyers are circulating an alternative. They point to a repossession loophole, a method where insiders are picking up luxury vehicles for exactly half the retail price. The hype frames this as a tale of 2 buyers: the average consumer signing away their next decade to a high-interest auto loan, and the insider bypasses the system entirely. We are going to strip away the sensationalized marketing language and look directly at the actual mechanical steps required to execute this strategy. This strategy involves a completely different type of financial transaction that removes the dealership middleman from the equation. The 50% discount is real, but it represents a strict mathematical trade-off where you exchange retail convenience for extreme upfront financial liquidity. The first source of deeply discounted inventory comes from commercial banks. Lending institutions are quietly dealing with a massive surge in vehicle repossessions. Banks are not in the business of running used car lots. They are highly motivated to simply recover their lost loan capital as quickly as possible. To dump these physical assets, banks hold closed-door, sealed bid auctions. You do not need a special dealer's license to enter these auctions, and the highest bidder takes the vehicle. The second major source of hidden inventory is Jamaica Customs, which routinely auctions off unclaimed cargo straight off the wharf. These are often brand new or high-quality imported cars that have been sitting in holding for over 30 days. They are abandoned because the original importer simply could not afford the final duty fees. Customs approaches these vehicles with the exact same logic as the banks. They hold quiet auctions purely to recoup their warehouse storage costs. Because the pricing model relies entirely on institutional debt recovery and storage fee recoupment, the starting bids ignore the actual retail market value of the vehicle. Accessing that institutional pricing requires you to accept the first major trade-off: an intense logistical burden. The traditional dealership model offers complete transparency. You walk the lot, browse guaranteed inventory, and if they don't have the specific model or color you want, you can request it on demand. This flowchart compares that direct dealership path against the opaque reality of the auction market. Finding these cars requires actively monitoring buried newspaper classifieds and navigating clunky government portals. It also requires you to accept complete unpredictability. As an auction buyer, you have zero control over the available inventory. You bid on what is in front of you. Furthermore, the closed-door format of these auctions dictates that every single vehicle is sold strictly as is. That brings us to the highest risk factor. You do not get the opportunity to take the car for an extensive test drive, and you cannot demand a post-sale warranty if the transmission fails a week later. When viewed through this lens, the heavy dealership markup is a premium you pay for active curation, mechanical peace of mind, and immediate availability. The first trade-off for a 50% discount means taking on the unpaid, high-risk role of an active inventory hunter, accepting zero guarantees on the product you buy. Even if you are willing to hunt for the inventory, you still have to clear the ultimate non-negotiable barrier to entry: the financing structure. The average consumer relies heavily on a secured 7-year auto loan. The dealer facilitates the entire process, stretching the total cost over 84 months to make the payments feel affordable. This table outlines the stark difference at an auction. Winning a sealed bid requires strict liquidity. You are usually required to produce a manager's check within a 48-hour window. Most insiders survive this window by deploying a pre-approved, unattached personal loan rather than holding raw cash. Securing this specific financial instrument requires strong existing relationships with a credit union and an excellent credit score. Because the loan is unattached to the vehicle, it comes with much harsher terms than a traditional auto loan, including stricter credit requirements and higher interest rates. Compressing that debt into a shorter time frame drastically increases your required monthly cash flow. The total cost of the car is cheaper, but carrying that debt month to month is significantly harder. The upside to surviving this financial gauntlet is massive. You completely bypass the dealership margins and drive away with instant, unencumbered equity in your new vehicle. You completely bypass the dealership margins and drive away with instant, unencumbered equity in your new vehicle. The auction method shifts the financial burden from long-term, slow-drip dealership debt to immediate, high-pressure cash liquidity. The decision to pursue the auction discount rests entirely on a single financial question. This diagram shows a decision tree starting with that exact question. Can you secure an unattached personal loan covering the vehicle's total cost today? If you fall into the yes path, you are a cash-ready optimizer. You have the credit union relationships to move quickly. For you, executing the 48-hour payment is highly recommended. The instant equity you gain outweighs the legwork required. If you fall into the no path, you are a traditional financer relying on stretched-out payments. If you need a 7-year term, a guaranteed vehicle condition, and a warranty, you must avoid the auction route entirely. The upfront financial shock will break your budget. In high-stakes purchases, true optimization comes from matching your purchasing strategy to your actual financial reality.